Christopher Davis. ADHD is becoming a problem in our nation. Children are being overdiagnosed with ADHD every single day and given prescription drugs that have been shown to have many side effects and have not been thoroughly tested for effectiveness or for long-term use. The purpose of my project is to identify different alternatives to using ADHD drugs. Before we go into that, first I'd like to describe what ADHD is. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder and was first introduced by Dr. Hoffman in 1845, who practiced medicine and psychiatry. ADHD is characterized by a child or person being overly hyper or overly inattentive, or a combination of both.
How do you diagnose ADHD?
Well, glad you asked. ADHD, even though it's been around for a very long time, science has not come up with an effective way of diagnosing ADHD. Pretty much a doctor asks a parent or teacher questions such as, does your child seem more hyper than other children? Does he seem more inattentive than other children? Has he done this for 6 months? Has he done it in 2 different settings? If you answer yes to all these questions, your child could be diagnosed ADHD. And once they diagnose ADHD, they can be given all these different medicines like Adderall, Dexatrin, Ritalin. These drugs have been known to have serious side effects. Side effects like insomnia, headaches, chest aches, stomach aches, hunger, loss of appetite, rashes, anxiousness, and have even been linked to cancer. Since 2003, there have been at least 25 deaths because of ADHD drugs.
What are the alternative methods to use instead of prescription drugs?
I'm glad you asked, because this can really help. Because prescription drugs, they do not cure. Like a Band-Aid, they just cover. And so you have to continue giving your child ADHD drugs and they will never be cured. My alternative is behavior management. Just like it says, behavior management is managing the behavior. And that pretty much in a nutshell is, as a parent, adult, teacher, being firm, being consistent, setting limits, and having rewards and consequences. That pretty much in a nutshell is behavior management. Other things that people practice is the taking of vitamins. Vitamins such as B1 and B2. These vitamins have been known to help with the brain functioning and the heart functioning. And the theory of this is that if a child can think better, they'll act better. Another alternative is for parents. Parents to be good role models to their children. Show them the way they're supposed to behave. Practice behavior management. Parents, find out about ADHD. Find out more about the ADHD drugs. Don't just give your child drugs because somebody tells you to. Start thinking for yourself. That's a different alternative. Parents being parents. Another alternative is for teachers. I go to school, and I notice that many of these teachers agree that the parent is the fault for the child's behavior. But they're not honest. They just say that, hey, the kid is showing symptoms. They need to be honest and say, hey, parents, you need to implement behavior management. So teachers have a responsibility to tell the truth and to make class more interesting. Maybe Johnny is having a hard time sitting down because your class is boring. Maybe it's a possibility. Please look at it. Doctors can also help with alternative methods by being honest with the parents. Telling the parents about behavior management. Telling them about the dangers of ADHD drugs. Tell them about the uncertainties of using these drugs. Society can help. Society right now is at a copycat. It's copycatting what everybody else is doing. Just because your neighbor or Mr. Jones or whatever is using these ADHD drugs for his child doesn't mean you need to. ADHD has become a billion-dollar industry. We need, as a society, to think for ourselves and do what's right. Whatever happened to say no to drugs. In conclusion, there are many alternatives to using ADHD prescription drugs. Those include behavior management and vitamins. Also, they include parents being role models, teachers telling the truth, making class interesting, doctors letting the parents know about the effects, society not being a copycat, doing what's right. All these are alternatives to use instead of using ADHD drugs. Before you give your child ADHD drugs, consider it. You have alternatives. Behavior management and all the other ones that I have just said are better alternatives. Do not risk your child's life with ADHD prescription drugs. Thank you.